Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Quarantine Chorus. Huge thanks to those of you that took part in the Zadok the Priest video last week. Thank you very much for all your feedback and suggestions for the future. Really useful to get all of that, and I'm really grateful for all of the kind support. Thank you. So this week I thought we'd do something a little bit quieter, a little more introspective. So we're going to sing Elgar's beautiful As Torrents in Summer. Now this is the final chorus in a longer work, a cantata, in fact, by Elgar, which was composed in 1896. And it's a cantata about a Norse crusader called King Olaf. And the work itself is largely ignored, although you can find some recordings of it. It's rather good. And this chorus comes from the very end of the work. Now some of you might have performed this before, possibly with quite an elaborate tinkly piano accompaniment, but we're going to sing the piece as it was intended by Elgar, which is to say a cappella, and it's a very beautiful, very stirring piece. As I say, it's the finale of the work, and if you've performed Elgar before, you know he has a tendency to finish with a bang. Well, in this case it's much quieter, much more introspective. Now we'll be singing this on Sunday morning in our Sacred Sing, and next week's piece, as per request, we're going to have a look at the wonderful Faure Cantique de Racine, which in itself is a beautiful work. But I think we should crack on, so as always I'll have the sopranos first please, altos, tenors, basses. I'll put the link down there so you can skip straight to that, and I look forward to seeing you all individually soon. So, shall we get on with rehearsal? Hello sopranos, how are you? Good to see you. Come on in. Let's have a look at this lovely piece of Elgar. Now if you could have the score ready, that would be great. There's a link in the description here, or if you want to just follow along on screen, I'll have the words pop up for you. So it's a very evocative piece here, some lovely leaps for you, and of course in music if you have a wide leap that suggests emotion, and this being the finale of a sad work, this is a very emotive piece. So it's not a loud opening, but we do get louder throughout. It's a more expressive piece than the works we've looked at so far on the channel. It is, after all, a late romantic work. Okay, so let's have a look at this first section here. First page, we'll sing all the way through the first page until the first two notes of the second page, onto Cloudless. Okay, so after three, this is how it goes. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, after riding the channels, suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Lovely, well done. Isn't that a lovely collection of phrases and shapes, opportunities to get really expressive? So let's just quickly go through that. Couple of things to note. First two lines should be almost identical, except the second, not first two lines I should say, sorry. The first two phrases, as torrents in summer, should be sung in the same way, except the second one you can get louder through. So, as torrents in summer. Okay, and just note we're emphasising the first note of each bar as torrents. If you make your mouth tall there, you'll get that natural shape. As torrents in summer. Okay, and then after riding the channels. Dried is an important note, and channels is another one. Okay, then suddenly rise. Bring some energy there, please, sopranos. Suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless. And I'd love you to smile on cloudless, please, sops. Not only because you're coming down the scale and you need to just be careful of the tuning there, but also the sky is still cloudless. What a lovely thing to be singing about. And then getting even quieter. The sky is still cloudless. And make sure that's nice and quiet. So, let's sing from the beginning. Thank you, sopranos. First page. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, after riding the channels, suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Very, very nice. Make the S at the end, put it on the third beat of the bar and make it really, really quiet. Cloudless. Fantastic. The tenors set off on their own for a moment. For rain. And then you and the altos echo them. And your line is 1, 2. For rain. For rain has been falling. Falling far off at the fountains. Lovely. So again, just a couple of things to notice here. The first, for rain. So grow into the note and then die away for the end of that little phrase. Then louder for the next one. For rain has been falling. And use those descending notes to illustrate the rain falling. Falling, falling, far off at the fountains. And just make sure far and off and found and tens are nice and tall sounds with your jaw nice and open, nice and tall. And make it fountains, please, rather than fountains. All right, let's sing the first 2 pages from the beginning to there. That's mainly because the 3rd and 4th pages are almost entirely identical musically, with a couple of differences, and so it's important to make sure it's right first time. So let's sing together from the beginning, As Torrents, okay? After 3, 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, after riding the channels, energy, suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Deep breath and for rain has been falling, falling far off at the fountains. Lovely. Well done, Sopranos. Isn't it beautiful? So let's have a look at the second half of this song. And there's just, as I say, a couple of minor differences, particularly if you're following along on the score, you can see these. The dynamics are different, the louds and quiets are different second time. So in that first line, so hearts that are fainting, that's louder to begin with, and then grow full to grow full. Okay, you need to get louder, and the note on full has a 10 written above it, which means tenuto, which means you stress that note. You don't accent it, you don't go grow full. It's grow full to, okay, to or flowing, and just make this whole thing really smooth and silky, okay? So, and then carrying on, that energy again, getting louder, and they that behold it, marvel and know not. So when you're singing up to marvel, that's one of the loudest things in the whole piece. Open your mouth nice and wide and enjoy that wonderful line. And to echo, marvel and know not. Okay, let's sing page 3 together with just all of those little notes in place. And do remember, you can rewind this video and watch it as many times as you like. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So hearts that are fainting grow full to of knowing, and they that behold it, marvel, know not, marvel and know not. Excellent. The tenors carry on, and you, as before, you echo to the tenors, that God, and you, that God at the fountains, So that is all pretty much the same as before, and then just this last line, far off has been raining. And remember, this would have been the last thing in the piece, so keep it really expressive, really gentle. There is an opportunity to get louder and then quieter again, but this should be pianissimo, very quiet. The last line then, 2, 3. Far off, far off has been raining. Lovely. And you heard the crescendo there on the second far off, and then quieter, and sing raining rather than raining. All right. So well done, sopranos. I'll see you at the end of the video for a full sing through. Hello, altos. Lovely to see you. Let's have a look at this Elgar, shall we? Now, if you can get the score ready, that'd be great. I'll also have the words going along on the screen. This is a beautiful piece. Starts very quietly, but there's opportunities to grow and get quieter throughout. Very expressive music, this. So we start at the beginning, very good place to start, and we come in on that note, and we come in after 3. Okay, and your line is 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels. Alright, just that first line, it's mostly an E flat with a little bit of movement either side of it, but that E flat rings through and you're the anchor point for the rest of the choir to move around. So just make sure when you're singing those nice words like as torrents in summer, you'll make your mouth nice and tall, and half dried in their channels. All those notes at the start of the bar. Okay, let's just sing that all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels. Lovely, really grow through to channels, and then everything comes to life. We sing on the next line, we sing suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Great. Couple of things to notice there. The suddenly rise, infuse that with some energy, get louder through the second one. Sky, make that nice and expansive, and cloudless. Use the nice tall sound to emphasize that first syllable and then pull away. And the last cloudless, put the S on the third beat, so we get cloudless. Fabulous. Okay, we'll sing that whole first page, I think, all the way through. It's important to do this because when we sing the second verse, it's all exactly the same musically, at least till the very end. Okay, so from the beginning, please, altos. Nice deep breath. 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels. And energy. Suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Great. And you need to be off cleanly there because the tenors come in. They come in singing for rain. You sing in response to that after 2. You sing 1, 2, for rain. For rain has been falling. Rain has been falling far off at the fountains. Okay, it's a lovely line that meanders either by step or by very small leap. The sort of pinnacle of it really is that for rain, where you go, that's the highest note in the piece for you. It's a C, you're only up there for a moment, so make sure it's good and strong. And then you come down, because of course it's rain falling. For rain has been falling, rain has been falling, far off at the fountains. And as I said to the basses, it's relatively low. It's only a B flat, but it's still quite low. Might help to just tuck your chin in slightly and make it fountains. Fountains, please, not than fountains. Let's sing the whole first verse, please. All right, so from As Torrents on the first page. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer after dried in their channels, and suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Excellent. Then the tenors come in singing Faure and Faure. Faure has been falling, rain has been falling, far off at the fountains. Great stuff. Well done. Now the next verse, right up until the very end, where we have a little bit of a coda there, is exactly the same musically, just with a couple of tiny little tweaks. Okay, so Hearts That Are Fainting. Let's have a little sing through and see if we can go right the way up to the end. Okay, because the music, as I say, is almost identical. 1, 2, 3. So hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing, and they that behold it, marvel and know not, marvel and know not. Then the tenors go, that God, and you, that God at the fountains far off has been raining. Now here it's different, so we'll pause there. Just a couple of things I want you to do for me, please. Just going back to the third page, so Hearts That Are Fainting. Just note above grow full, you've got a crescendo, and it's also got 10 written above it, which is tenuto, which means stress. So you grow, you start relatively loud. So hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing. Almost like that you're singing into it and then pulling away. So you are growing full and dying away at the end. The triplet rhythms, and they that behold it, use those triplet rhythms to infuse it with all the energy that it needs. And of course, marvel, make that nice and tall, marvel and know not, and then like an echo, marvel and know not. The tenors, that God, grow into the first note and then die away on God. That God at the fountains far off has been raining. And then just the last 6 bars here is a little coda. It's very, very pretty, and it sounds like this. This is so the second bar on the bottom line of the last page. Okay, 2, 3. Far off has been raining. Excellent. Make sure that dies away to nothing, and sing raining rather than raining, so we don't get that diphthong. Let's do the very last page from That God, altos. Okay, so the very last page of this, page 4. 1, 2. That God at the fountains far off has been raining. Far off has been raining. Thanks very much indeed, altos. I'll see you at the end of the video for a sing through. Hi tenors, good to see you. Let's have a look at this lovely bit of Elgar. A very, very nice line for you. Got some nice sustained high notes, some opportunities to crescendo up towards the top of your range. Not at the very top, the highest note is an F, so well within the comfort zone of most tenors here. So let's start at the beginning. And we start off with a very lovely descending line. Okay, and so it is 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, half dried in the channels. Lovely, and just notice the way I'm singing that on those longer syllables, or those stressed syllables at the start of the bar. I'm making my mouth nice and tall. As torrents in summer. All right, so let's sing that together one more time. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, half dried in the channels. Very nice. We then move down a tone to the next line. Suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless. The sky is still cloudless. Okay, after 3, 2, 3. Suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless. The sky is still cloudless. Very, very nice indeed. Notice you have a crescendo through that though the sky and sing cloudless with a nice round mouth and pull back slightly from that. Do be aware that you have to get rid of your S quite quickly at the end of that phrase because you're then carrying on straight away. But let's sing the first page together one more time. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer, half dried in the channels, suddenly rise, but the sky is still cloudless. The sky is still cloudless. And make that really quiet because we then carry on to the next page. And do bear in mind all this music's going to come back over the page when we sing the second verse. Okay, now we have a moment of real drama here where we start on a B flat and we rise up to a D flat and then fall. So it's a really nice moment for the tenors. I'm going to have to go into head voice for this, but you know, those of you who are real tenors, enjoy this. Okay, so it's from Faure at the top of the second page. 1, 2. Faure, Faure has been falling, rain has been falling, far off at the fountains. Lovely. Now just notice there, 2 beats, fountains, and sing fountains if you would rather than fountains. So let's sing from Faure has been falling and make this really lyrical, lots and lots of emotion. Okay, after 2, 1, 2. Faure has been falling, rain has been falling, far off at the fountains. Very nice tenors, well done. Over the page, we start almost straight away, so hearts that are fainting, and you'll be very familiar with this music because it's what we just sang. Okay, so sing with me. 1, 2, 3. So hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing, and they that behold it, marvel, marvel and know not. So as I say, all very much based on what went before. Just here we have more triplet rhythms. They that behold it, they that behold it. Just make sure that's nice and clearly articulated, and do enjoy that moment in the second little phrase there. Grow full to overflowing. There's a big crescendo and a 10 written above the note, which means a stress, tenuto. So that first line would go, so hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing. So you lighten as you go on up. All right, it's a really nice moment though, enjoy it. We're on the last page now. And we sing that God, same notes as before. So sing with me from the last note of page 3. Ready? 1, 2. That God at the fountains far off has been raining. Lovely. Now that all is based on what went before, but because this is the last part of the song, we have a coda, something slightly different. So we finished on raining, okay, and just in the last 5 bars, starting far off, your line goes like this. It goes far off far off has been raining. And just on that note that holds, that suspends, make sure that's got lots and lots of weight and emotion, and then the last note, let that just die away to nothing. Well done, tenors. Thanks very much indeed. I'll see you at the end of the video. Hi basses, good to see you, thanks for your patience. So let's get to this lovely bit of Elgar, shall we? And those of you of the lower voiced persuasion, the second basses, you're going to particularly like this setting. The lowest note is an E flat, a nice low down there, and the highest note is a B flat, so well within the range of most basses. And to begin with, it's a very typical Elgarian bass line in that you stay pretty much static, and when you move by step. Okay, so let's have a look at that first line. If you could have your scores ready, I'll put the words up here on the screen, and we're in after three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels. Very, very nice indeed. Just one thing, as you sing, note those longer notes as torrents. Make sure you're making your mouth nice and tall for those. You get a nice ringing effect on those chords. Lovely. So let's just sing that again, please, basses. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels. Very, very nice. We then leap up an octave to the A flat there, and we sing suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Very nice, well done. Note there that we get quieter through the end of that, and just put the S of cloudless on the third beat. Alright, let's sing that first page. It's worth doing because the second verse uses all the same music. Okay, so that first page, I'll put the chords on the top so you can start to hear what's going on in those other parts. Okay, here we go. Nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3. As torrents in summer half dried in their channels, suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Very, very nice basses, well done. Then at the bottom of the page, so now we are at the bottom of page 2, it's just those two notes, and we're in after 2, 1, 2, for rain has been falling at their fountains. Alright, very, very straightforward. Just remember, keep it very, very quiet. There will be a very slight rit, a very slight holding back of the tempo on fountains. But then we carry on, and you'll recognise this because it's all based on what went before. Okay, so the second verse, after 3, ready, 1, 2, 3. So hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing. Very nice. Now just notice there the dynamic on grow full, and there's 10 written over the top, which is a tenuto, a stress. So that's so hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing. Just has a bit of a stress there. We then, as before, we leap up an octave and we sing 2, 3. And they that behold it, marvel and know not, marvel and know not. Very, very good. As I say, all based on what went before. The tenors, altos, sopranos have that little moment, and then we come in together at the top of the 4th page. Far off has been raining. Okay, and so just follow this along. The very last note, you have an option. First bass is you can stay on the B flat. Second bass is you can drop down. To help get that low note, please, please, please make sure you open your mouth to a re. Okay, raining. My E flat's a little bit late in the day. It's where I'm recording, it's about 1:30. If I want to get this right, and when I recorded it at 7 in the morning. A lovely E flat then. Okay, so we're going to sing this last Far Off at the top of page 4. 1, 2. Far off, far off, far off has been raining. Alright, or you can go off has been raining. Alright, so let's have a little sing through with everybody.
As torrents in summer, after riding their channels, suddenly rise, though the sky is still cloudless, the sky is still cloudless. Has been falling, rain has been falling at their fountains. So hearts that are fainting grow full to overflowing, and they that behold it, marvel and know not that God, at the fountains far oft has been
Well, thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a beautiful piece, it really is. Now, if you're around on Sunday, that is the 19th of April, I do a live broadcast at 11 AM called The Sacred Sing, and if you are around and would like to take part in that, you can. Of course, it's all recorded and all put up on the channel for you to enjoy afterwards. So if you're in a different time zone, or even you have your own things to be getting on with, you can come along and sing with us then. Do look out next week for the Faure Cantique de Racine, and following that we're going to be having a look at Tallis's wonderful If Ye Love Me. So some really beautiful pieces coming up. I'm hugely grateful to those of you that have been kind enough to donate to the channel. As I've said, there is no charge for any of these materials, they're all yours to use, and do please enjoy them. But some people have asked if they can donate a little tip to support myself and my family. Now if you'd like to do that, I've put a link in the description of this video so that you can drop us a £1 or £2 by PayPal, and that'll just help pay the bills and keep these videos coming. But as I say, there is no obligation to do that. In the meantime, everybody, thanks very much for joining me. Do take care, and I'll see you soon.